Alright, it is January the 2nd, but I'm recording this for January the 1st, for request. This is by request. Crazy stuff happening. I was asked several times, going through emails to try to put some light on the situation, on what all happened over New Year's. Now, I avoided making a video. I haven't been feeling well. It rained for 7 days straight, starting really since the right after the solstice, straight through Christmas. It just rained and rained and rained, of course, which makes Kelly crazy, but I wasn't feeling well. I've been running fevers. Not sure what's going on. My throat is still scratchy. I'm still got a cough, so bear with me through this. I'm going to just put it at noon on the 1st. It's generally how I do it. Get that high noon energy for that day. I am not one to prognosticate, because when you start talking about crazy and them intentionally doing things, you're talking, and deception, a lot of deception. A lot of factors play into that, but mostly it's Mars, which, oh my, we've already talked about this, that Mars is in Cancer and he's debilitated. And when you start prodding the bull, they're only going to take so much. And this is not going to play out well, no matter what. It just doesn't work well. And not only is Mars in Cancer, he's debilitated. So it's hard to get away with anything. Back over to Saturn, which is out of retrograde. So this is not a game. If Saturn was retrograde here, the gloves are off. It's no holds barred. There are no rules. There is no law. It's like a free-for-all. This is when Saturn's retrograde, that's when authority, those in authority, start taking advantages of those beneath them. And that's not the case right now. So this reeks of desperation, but I also am quite aware that these players, for lack of a better word, don't do anything that's not pre-planned. And we also do have that Mars, Jupiter retrograde. And Jupiter retrograde is thinking outside of the box. But Mars over here retrograde and debilitated in Cancer. These are actions. These are our emotions and our actions. And everything right now is just ass backwards. That's why I don't suggest you sign any contracts, or when Mercury's in a retrograde, or don't start any wars when Mars is in a retrograde, and don't pick on your boss or your anybody over you, your teachers or whatever, when Saturn is retrograde, because you're just prodding that problem. And so it's not going to end well for the ones trying to do it, for the lack of a mastermind behind it. It's not going to play out well. It was a bad call. It was a bad call. Moon, well, before and after, I don't exactly know the time of when these events took place, And I think we understand we're talking about Las Vegas and New Orleans. And New Orleans has always played into this. We've talked about this before, that it's it's going to be part of what I call the last ritual. I have to turn up my heating pad. It's really cold here this morning. And I'm sorry about the cough. There's nothing I can do about it. To me, after when the rain stopped and the sun finally came out, it's been cool nights, but we've had some nice days in the upper 50s and 60s. And myself in particular, I've just enjoyed it the last few days because I had something incredible happen to me that, I don't know, it's just really just lifted me up and give me a new perspective. So my outlook on this year, at least for myself, is an exceptional one. Let me explain. I recently gutted my room and cleaned everything out. And when I did, I put my little workstation by the window. I used to have my bed there so that Kelly could sit and watch the birds feed outside the window. But I've changed it and I've put me there. So I saw something I've never seen before that I did not even think existed. And I thought I was hallucinating at first, or something was terribly wrong with a glitch in the matrix. But I've always had these cardinals, beautiful red cardinals. I don't care where I live. Just for decades now, everywhere I go, I attract red cardinals. They just come. And they're generally a pair of males, not a male and a female, but a pair of males. And this year, I rarely see them. I've rarely seen my cardinals. They're just now starting to come back around. But I seen a yellow cardinal. And I knew it was a cardinal. I know those markings. I know that beak. I know that crown on the head. I know the body size and just everything about it. Except for instead of red and black, it was yellow and black. And I didn't even know they existed. So I was just sat there for a minute, just stunned at what I was looking at. And then I went on the internet, and yeah, there is such a thing as a yellow cardinal. They're predominantly in South America, Brazil. But they are known to happen here, and it's considered a mutation. It's considered very rare, a 1 in a million. There's the phrase I'm trying to get to, a 1 in a million. So, I've always believed, I guess I'm superstitious in a way. I wish there was a better word for that. But growing up the way I did in the South, and my grandmother being who she was, and passing it on to my mother and then to me, you get all of these little weird sayings that you grow up with. And one of them has always been that when cardinals appear, angels are near. So I have a 1 in a million cardinal. I'm trying to get a picture of it. I'm obsessed with it now. I'm determined to get it on film, because apparently only one other has been photographed here in the United States, and it was like in Ohio or somewhere up north. So I'm really excited about getting a picture of this thing, and I'm going to have to come up with a name for him. But that truly just uplifted me, that I got to see a yellow cardinal in my lifetime. Literally eating the seed I put out there for them. I got so excited about it that I went and got new seed, because I know they're real fond of sunflower seeds. Attract them the most for some reason. So I got sunflower seed for the cardinals. So I'm determined to get it. Anyway, so I'm not feeling all this negative energy that everybody else is. I can see the the fear, Mars. The desperation, again, Mars retrograde, Mars debilitated, that desperation, that fear. We're talking lower chakra here. I'll go ahead and do a chakra man with this, and as a matter of fact, if time plays out, then I'll do it through all of the Tree of Life and the Mason Temple and all of that, to see, so we can get an overall view of what this energy is. But it's definitely comes off as fear. It comes off as desperation, which is what's going on here. What's required here when Mars is in this situation is exactly the opposite, which is Capricorn, which is going to be patience, order, not chaos, but order, doing something for the greater good when what's occurring is for the greater harm, not the greater good. But to me, still, no matter what's going down, the storyline that's playing out is all Gemini. It's all Castor and Pollux. It's all this Remus and Romulus stuff. It's all this Cain and Abel stuff. It's brother against brother. It's the war of the two brothers. It's a family affair. It's a vie for power and authority. And this plays out over and over and over again, through every culture, through every age, through every language, through every mythos. We've gone over this now, and I'm starting to see things a lot more clearly. I am really learning all about Gemini. Every time I see events take place or feel those energies or connect to them, and especially the word study, going through the language and the star lore, I'm starting to understand more that Sirius is Lucifer. There's no freaking doubt about that. And this links up here, we know in British heraldry as the rampant lion. Also as part of, in the Hindi, Shakti and Shiva. And this is just crazy how much of this information gets plastered over and you're told it's Saturn. But this is Saturn. That Baphomet and the goat, that's Saturn. That's the devil. That's Saturn. Satan, Saturn. Satan, Saturn. And they've got, people have been programmed with this and got this shit locked in their head. And it's not. The little red devil is Mercury in Gemini. His color's red. His symbol, literally, Mercury is the symbol, the little circle. Here, let's do it. Because you just can't get past this. The symbolism doesn't lie. He's got his little circle, his little body, and he's got horns. He's a little red devil. And this is this energy. And Mercury is the energy of the mind. But he's also the tongue. He's also the tongue. He's a half mind, because the other part of Mercury is over in Virgo. The feminine aspect. This is the masculine aspect. Here, this is the first heaven, Gemini, under the dome, the prince of the power of the air. These are the powers and principalities in high places that we struggle against. Not flesh and blood. Powers and principalities. Energies, frequencies. In a way, you could even call it the fates. Because this is the energy we're dealing with right now. This is the overall predominant, because we're an upside down world. So instead of us having we're in the age of Pisces. So that puts us on what I call the mermaid axis, on this feminine mutable energy, which is Virgo for the woman and Pisces for the fish. It's fish tails. And this is the energy that this age is supposed to be functioning on. We're in the age of Pisces, the abyss, dead in the water, Davy Jones' locker. And you look up to mutable earth, miry clay, to get us out of this mess. And it's funny that Virgo is that miry clay that's mixed with Mars, those legs of iron that belong to Remus and Romulus. I consider them in our time, I mean, this goes back to the beginning, Cain and Abel. And then you have Jacob and Esau. And then you have Joseph, who split his tribe between Ephraim and Manasseh. You have Artemis and Apollo, Dionysus and Theseus. I don't care what culture or language or mythos, this story of these two brothers, sometimes they're twins and sometimes they're just brothers. Even today, we're watching it play out, literally, with Prince Harry and Prince William, the two brothers that are at odds. And one is jealous of the other, and one wants what the other one has. So they try to take him out. They try to snuff him out. And that's Mars energy. That jealousy, Mars energy. So as we're watching all this play out on the world stage, and it always ends bad. This always ends bad. It never ends good, because it's an internal war, because they've got us locked into this lie of a duality, that it's either this way or that way. It's either left or right, black or white, up or down, in or out. And sometimes it can be clear cut like that. But when you lock yourself into the thinking of duality, you feel you're almost cornered. There's no way out. You're either in one corner or the other. But there's no such thing as a duality. That is part of the deception. That's part of the lie. To me, hands down, we're in the great deception. The more and more we look at stuff, the more and more we realize that everything, and I mean everything, is a lie. And so the energy at this point, number one, I don't watch television. I haven't watched I haven't had cable or watched TV or none of that in a long time. If I want to watch something like that, I just go rip it off the internet somewhere. I don't have subscriptions. I just don't do that. Everything out there is free if you know what you're doing. But I really don't have time for it, and it just doesn't entertain me anymore. There's no entertainment in it to me. When you know how the magician gets the rabbit out of the hat, then the trick just simply don't work. And it stopped working on me right after 9/11. I just had enough. Already had problems with it my whole life. I had this underlying thing of, I hate commercials, because it's nothing but a deception. It's just a lie. They're telling you a lie to get you to buy this product. It doesn't do what it says. It doesn't look like it's supposed to. You know, it's like ordering off the internet. You order this one thing, but you get something completely different when it comes in the mail. And life is like that. And that's a Gemini thing. Because Gemini is the advertiser. He adds a verse to entice the mind. Advertisement. So all this generates from here. All this energy that we're dealing with is coming from Gemini. Instead of Virgo Mercury, we have Gemini Mercury. Air energy instead of earth energy. Mutable air. Mutable air is crazy. That means the wind bloweth where it will. There's no order to it. So, crazy times that we live in, the signs of the times, and all the signs, whether it's the unicorn, the rainbow. Again, when you talk about Sirius being the wolf, and they even changed the Mandela effect, changed the verse in the Bible where the lion lays down with the lamb. Now the lion's laying down with the wolf, which tells me that the lynx, the rampant lion, not the Leo lion, this lion is supposed to be laying down. They changed it. The Sphinx, the lion is laying down. And that's, the Sphinx is the lion laying down with the lamb, which is Thalem. This is the lamb, Fomahal. That's the lamb. So that's the lion laying down with the lamb. But what we've got is this lying lion, the lynx, laying down with Lucifer, which is funny because these are the stars that's venerated on the solstice. The night of the solstice, even Christmas night, Christmas Eve, all of that, these are the stars in the sky. And I've always said that 12/21, which is the solstice, 12 is 11, and 21 is U, the letter U, so it's Lu. I call it the Lu cipher, because Lu is that word light, the light bringer, the shining one, Sirius, Lucifer. Again, not Saturn. And that's a funny thing. I keep digressing. I'm never going to get to what I came here to talk about. Planetary linguistics. You'll notice, and I've talked about this before, how it goes through all the different languages and it shows you the names of the planets in all the different tongues, even some old tongues that are no longer used. But one odd thing about it is Saturn. Saturn's only got 2 or 3 names, and all the other ones have been erased and replaced with this word Saturn. When originally his name's not Saturn, it's Kronos. It's Kronos. Where we get chronology from, clock, time, all of that. So this word Saturn is a freaking invented word. You can't even find the root to it. It's just completely fucking made up, and it's plastered over every zodiac, every language. And to me, if there's a Satan, a devil, that old dragon, the serpent, it's right here in Gemini. This is the serpent in the garden. The caduceus belongs right here in Gemini. And it's got 2 serpents on it. And one of them's a liar. And the lie he told was the duality, the knowledge of good and evil. But there's more than that. There's more than the knowledge of good and evil, or of right and wrong. It's not that cut and dry. And to me, that's part of the deception and the lie. And it breaks my heart that, I used to be one of them. Ooh, Saturn, Satan. Yeah, it makes sense, right? The goat. No, there's a goat over here too. There's a goat right there in Capella. This is the Watchers. And this is my pet goat too, by the way. All of it's here. So this is the main energy we're dealing with, no matter how you look at it. I used to think Taurus was Egypt. No, I totally disagree now. To me, Egypt is right here. When you talk about Remus and Romulus, you have Rome and Cairo. That's Remus and Romulus, Rome and Cairo. And the same story plays out everywhere. But it's this energy right now that tells me we should be in a holding pattern. The powers that be are trying these pretend events that happened that are planned way in advance, right? the only reason that they would do this right now is so it would expose. Do you understand what I just said? Because they want it to be exposed for what it is. They're showing you their cards. The truthers are going to get in there and tear it all apart. And that's exactly what they want. That's the only logical Mercury logic. That's the only logical or Mercurian reason they can have for doing this at this time. Is if this is part of the plan and it's not a one-off, a desperate rogue movement, there has to be some type of logic behind it. And I don't see it as a one-off, desperate rogue movement. I'm going to even step back and go to the election, because to me, I didn't see very much of it. I've seen some commentary on it and some of the comments that you guys have sent. But I can tell you this, the mainstream media rolled over too easy. The Democrats rolled over too easy. They're usually putting up a funk. And the Republicans are kind of in this stance. They expect something to happen. They expect something to happen. Mars. But they gave up too easily. I know a lot of you don't agree, and you're into the political thing. That's okay. If that's part of your script, part of your cross, part of your storyline, part of the character that you play here, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's just not part of mine. That's all. I'm not condemning anyone, because we've all got our part to play. It's just not my part. So I leave that to those that do. They make videos about it. I don't make videos about it because it's not really my part. I used to be in the expose the truth, go down the rabbit hole, dig it up, show it, expose it to the world. But I learned I'm very bad at it, because I was good at it. I could wake people up, and I could rip the rug out from under you, tear your paradigm down. And I realized that I was doing great harm. I wasn't helping anyone. I wasn't even doing myself a favor. That me trying to wake people up was the last thing I was supposed to do. Number one, it's not my job. The Bible says no man comes to the Father except for the Father, but by me. And you can't even come to the Father unless the Father draws you. And so to each in his own time, that it's the Holy Spirit's job to wake you up. That all any of us can do, evangelical wise or preaching wise, which I don't like either one of those things. I think we should preach, not teach. And evangelicals tend to try to either shove their point of view down your throat or condemn you for not receiving it. And both of those are wrong. No, we plant seeds and you move along. You plant a seed in somebody's heart or in their mind and you move along. And the Holy Spirit waters that seed and raises it up, lets it sprout and bring forth fruit. And that takes time. But I learned that's not my job. So I don't bother with it anymore. I'm not part. I realized I was doing their work for them. I was doing the dirty work for the elite. I was playing right into their hand by what I was doing. So I understand now. I understand what it means that we have to become as children. And that when I was a kid, you didn't care about politics and the big things of the world. That's not what mattered. What mattered was what was in your heart. What mattered was getting a hug from a parent or somebody that cared about you. Playing with butterflies and the simple things in life. It's the little things that change the big things. It's the little things. And they're trying to make our children grow up too fast. They're taking the innocence away from it all. And that's where the true magic is. That's where the real magic is. And we knew that when we were kids. The wonder of it all, the awe and amazement of just a sunrise or a sunset. Puppies, kittens, butterflies. The smell of honeysuckle in the air. A yellow cardinal that you didn't even know existed. Those are the great things that really, really, I mean, no amount of chaos energy can come against that. What does the Bible say? That I'll build my kingdom and my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And they can't. But the real innocence, the real magic is back when we were innocent, before we knew how ugly and dark and hateful and mean and cruel and hard this world can be. But it don't have to be. And we knew that when we were kids. We knew that as children. That it could be whatever we wanted it to be. Without limitation. Without all things were possible. And yes, all things are possible. But we're being forced by the elite, by the powers that be, into reacting. Because in their problem, reaction, solution, their little Hegelian dialect, that's the only part we play, is the reaction. But if we don't react, they can't get that response from us. They can't roll out a solution. The best response, other than to ignore, it don't even exist. You give it no energy. You're not going to feed that egregore. The other one is to laugh at it. That really pisses them off. Because what's that old superstition? Laughter is the best medicine. It's good medicine. It reminds me of, when I say that, it reminds me of the Native American terminology of that's good medicine. And laughter is good medicine. Laughter can heal us. It can heal us from Mars debilitated retrograde in Cancer. It can fix that. You just need a smile on your face. You need some joy in your heart. Because nothing else matters. It don't. You can't stop the world. Your vote don't mean shit. I leave unto Caesar what is Caesar's. But I understand there are those that is your part. It's literally in your chart that you do battles with this. Your journey is different than mine. That's okay. I'm not condemning anybody. But I know that my channel attracts people that are here that really want to understand reality, consciousness, what this religion thing is, and of course what the political worldly thing is, what's happening today and what's coming tomorrow, and where do I fit in that, and what can I do about it? Well, it's like this. The script's already been written. The story's finished. It's signed off on. Hell, the book's already published. We can't go back and change it now. But I tell you what you can do. You can't change what's already been written, but you can write something new that's never been written. All these superstitions keep popping up in my head. 1 is for sorrow, 2 is for joy, 3 is a letter, 4 is a boy, 5 is silver, 6 is gold, and 7's for the story that has yet to be told. Then there's a story coming, a mystery that's been laid since the foundation of the world that nobody knows. We've not been told that story yet, but it's coming. We can start more and more to see what it's going to be about. And nothing can stop it because it's written in the stars. And they can change the books and the words and the religions and the laws. They can change the times and the seasons, but they can't change the heavens. And here, let me pull something from the book of Psalms. This is Psalm chapter 19, and it's a song. A psalm is a song. It's supposed to be sung. This is to the chief musician, a song of David. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them he had set a tabernacle for the sun, which is a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it, and there's nothing hidden from the heat thereof. The law of the Lord is perfect. It's written in the stars, converting the soul. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. You remember I told you that in all my existence, I had never found anything that was perfect. And that I thought what people considered our flaws is what made us unique from one another. And that when it finally clicked for me what the zodiac actually is, it's that it's an alchemical magic circle of nature. That it was the only thing I had ever seen that was perfect in its design. Earth, water, air, fire, fixed, mutable, cardinal. Never seen anything like it. And what does it do? What is its purpose? Its whole purpose is to raise consciousness, not just of humanity, but of all creation. All creation. The animals, the trees, the rocks, everything is living. Everything is in motion. This is one problem I have with the flat earthers, is because, like Christians, they like to pick and choose verses out of the Bible to justify or apologetics for their point of view. And there's many statements in the Bible that can allude that earth is flat, but there are also others that allude that it's round. And they say the earth is flat, and it don't move. The heavens move around the earth. The firmament moves. The firmament, back up here. But how do you explain the verses in Revelations that talk about the earth wobbling to and fro like a drunkard? It's in the Old Testament and the New about the earth wobbling. If it doesn't move, how can it wobble? To me, again, y'all know my point of view on this. I'm eyeball earth. I'm third eye earth. The sun is the right eye. The moon is the left eye. And the earth is the third eye that's soon to open in this universal cosmic mind. We're inside the universe is a mind. There are the word cosmos. Let's see if I can pull this up, because there are older translations of the word cosmos out of the Greek that literally means law. Again, and the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul and consciousness. To convert the soul is the renewing of the mind, which is what? That little red devil Mercury. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of the Lord are right. Earth, water, air, fire, fixed, mutable, cardinal. Rejoicing the heart. Because in the end, the story's already been written. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. All three of them. The fear of the Lord, this should be awe. A-W-E. Awe of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold, yea, than much fine gold, sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb. Moreover, by them is thy servant warned. We know what's coming. And in keeping of them there is great reward. Who can understand his arrows? Cleanse thou me from secret faults. Keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sins. Let them not have dominion over me. Then shall I be upright, and I shall be innocent from the great transgression. The singular, the great transgression. Do you know what that transgression is? It's being deceived. It's deception. We're in the age of deception. We're in Revelation chapter 20. Everything's already happened. We're at the end. It's the time of the Valkyries. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. This is literally probably my favorite psalm, one of my favorite chapters in all of the Bible, because when I was having doubts, when I was looking, when it clicked for me that alchemy is astrology and astrology is Freemasonry and it's Kabbalah and it's everything, it's all the same thing. There is no new thing under the sun. It's all the same thing. When it clicked for me, it scared me a little bit, and I doubted. I wasn't sure. I didn't know what to think about it, so I took it to what I know, which was the Bible. What does the Bible have to say about this? Because in one part of the Bible, we're told that astrology is bad. Well, that's funny, because I don't know shit about astrology. I don't know solar astrology, and I don't know lunar astrology. But I know that circle is an alchemical circle. And I know that it's perfect. And I know what the energy of mutable earth is, or what the energy of fixed air is. I understand all that. I understand the alchemical implications behind it and what its reference is. I understand that in the Greek, all the names of the stars are parts of our brain. The fornax, the thalamus, the pineal gland, the hippocampus. They're all there. And they speak day by day and night by night. That I understand. And I am in complete awe of it. It is beyond wondrous to me. It's magical. Nature is magic. What's coming for humanity is beyond description. And these powers that be, they're the ones that are really afraid, because they know what time it is. They see the writing on the wall. They know what those stars are saying. They know what the energies are. And they hedged their bets that they've pulled off this reset so many times that surely they'll get away with it again. And this time that's not going to happen. They might drag a few souls with them, but this time it's going to be different. And we may not see the fruits of that in our lifetime, because that circle goes through aeons and ages, and we're still just in Pisces. The biggest part of the lie that they're putting on us is, what time is it? Because they're trying to convince you that Jesus is fixing to come back, and there's fixing to be a rapture, and there's fixing to be a 1,000-year millennium. But the signs of the times say, no, that's already happened. We've already done that. We're past that. We're in the time of the great deception. Let's read this whole thing one more time. I think it's that important. To the chief musician A psalm of David. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, the sun. Night unto night showeth knowledge, the moon and the stars. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. They speak in symbolism. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world, the end of the age. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. The awe of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold, yea, than much fine gold, sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb. Moreover, by them is thy servant warned, and in the keeping of them there is great reward. Who can understand his errors? Cleanse thou me from secret faults. Keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sin. Let them not have dominion over me. Then shall I be upright, and I shall be innocent from the great transgression. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. To me, this is far more powerful than the 23rd Psalm, which most of us know. The Lord is my shepherd. And we are in a great valley of darkness and deception right now. But I know my part, at least the part I'm choosing to play now, is I'm not going to feed their egregore. And I don't care what Caesar does. That's Caesar's business. It's not my business. My business is the Lord's business. My business is the Lamb's business. And I leave Caesar to the good Lord to do with as he wills. But for me and mine, I will try to bring clarity and not hope. I don't want to give you hope. I want you to know. I don't want you to believe. I don't hope and I don't believe. I know. One, I remember too much. Two, I've experienced too much to not believe, to not know. Once you have the experience, then you know. You don't have to believe anymore. I see the circle for what it is. I see the stars for what they are. I see the firmament for what it is. I've always understood that we're within the mind of God. All of this, everything, we're just thoughts in the mind. Because this place is not real. This is not real. It's a shadow. It's a copy. It's a facsimile. It's a fake. It's like when you have a wedding. Before the wedding, you have a rehearsal. And then you have the wedding. Well, you've had the rehearsal and you've had the wedding. Well, there's a third. Because then you have the memories to where you go back and you tell the story. This is where we're at. We're at the part 3. We've already had the experience. And now we're just reliving it. We are remembering. Let me give you another verse and I'll explain this. There are different versions of this. I'm in Luke chapter 22. And we want verse 10. One, they're talking about, he's talking to Peter and John about preparing for the Passover, that they can eat the Passover meal. And they said unto him, where wilt thou that we prepare? Where you want to do this at? And he said unto them, behold, when ye are entered into the city, there shall a man meet you bearing a pitcher of water. So that's Aquarius. You follow him into the house, Aquarius, where he entereth. And ye shall say unto the good man of the house, the master, Balaam, saith unto thee, where is the guest chamber, where I shall eat the Passover with my disciples? And he shall show you a large upper room furnished, make there ready. He meets them in the upper room. The upper room of Aquarius is the hippocampus. It's the memory. He meets us in our memories. This is why I keep saying we all have amnesia as a race, because every time we get reset, our memories get wiped. And our history gets rewritten. And we have no past, no roots, no structure to build on. They rip the paradigm out from under you. But in remembering, when you remember, that's why I say we've all done this, because he meets us in our memories. He meets us in the hippocampus. And you remember. Then you don't need, at that point, you don't need to have hope. You don't need to believe. You don't even need to experience. Because you know, you remember. The whole point of Aquarius is the restoring of our memories. There is nothing hidden that shall not be revealed. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing you've ever done, nothing I've ever done, nothing that's ever happened in all of creation. Everything has to come to the light. Everything has to be brought out into the open. And it will be, because the circle said so. And that freaking circle is perfect. All right. I'm through with my rant. Let's get back into myself. I really don't count New Year's, because the timeline is from solstice to solstice, equinox to equinox. And these made-up days, whatever, they have their purpose. But that's a different storyline. So New Year's is not on January 1st. It just isn't. But because it's their storyline, I can see the point of taking a look at it. But not celebrating it, by the way. So this energy, being as it's a yearly energy, will run all year. Mercury on the hero's journey in Ophiuchus, upper house of Scorpio. And he is not retrograde. So he's in that. This is Mars's house. This is root chakra. It is about friends, the people you choose to be in your life. It's about sexuality. In the upper house, Ophiuchus, again, that's Serpentarius, the serpent holder. And all these stories are about Hercules. This is Hercules. These are the two aspects of Hercules. And we also have that crown of Ashtaroth up here, by the way. Alpheka Ashtaroth up here. It's part of that. But this is the hero's journey. So that's the mindset, is to be the hero, right? Save the day. The sun is the energy. The energy is philosophical. Sagittarius is about philosophy, ideology, belief systems, even atheism. Jupiter rules empire and desire. In Pisces, he rules religions, all of them. All of them. I don't care which one. It's all ruled by Jupiter. And here he rules all ideology and thought. I don't care which one. They're all here. The Freudian view, the Jung view, and the shamanic view. 3 deacons, 3 views. All things in threes. The moon, which I have it at high noon, is in Capricorn. So what? It's only a 4.2% illuminated. So not a lot of exposure. This is not out. It's hidden. Non-exposure. It's underhanded. It's the hand behind the back. It's a hidden hand. It's only 4.2% illumination. You can barely see it. You got to squint to see it. Venus, not retrograde. Venus in Aquarius. Now, I'm born with this Venus here in Aquarius. And this is the self-martyr. But Saturn is here also. And I don't understand why Venus is exalted in Pisces. To me, Venus should be exalted here. I'm glad Venus is exalted in Pisces because, one, no age needs it more. No age needs Venus, that heart chakra, more than Pisces does. But here it's fixed. It's not going to move. None of this is going to change. This going down is going to change our hearts. They are fixed. But they're also in the house of the self-martyr, the self-sacrifice, I didn't do this for me, I did it for you. No man takes my life, I lay it down. Nobody did this to me but me. And Saturn there to see the job through. Now leaving that water of life. Once Saturn leaves this time, it won't be coming back in there. Jupiter, literally on the crown of the bull. I want to swap this over to the Arabic. It's just a far more accurate view of it all. Still there between the horns. That's that. You know, the color of Jupiter, its color is orange, a reddish orange. Sometimes a yellowish orange and sometimes a reddish orange. And yellow and red being those two masculine energies. But its color is orange. And you see that big orange ball sitting there. Jupiter retrograde, it is thinking outside of the box. And it's in fixed earth. So it's aspecting the fixed air in Aquarius. So Jupiter, which are our desires, expansion, more, are right in a line with Saturn and Venus. Mars on that cardinal cross, retrograde, debilitated, emotionally unstable. It can get depression. It can get out of hand. Don't be triggered. That's the best advice I can give you here. In all things, try to be stoic as long as this energy is here. You don't want to react. You want to observe, consider, and then respond, but never just knee-jerk reaction. That's the big downfall, but also the lesson to be learned by Mars here. Back over here in Pisces, we have Neptune all by itself. The imagination is real mutable right now. And so it's all over the place. So when they put out these little events to trigger us, you're going to get all kind of responses. Mostly for those that think they're awake, their response is going to be anger. For those that are not, their response will be fear. For those that are above it, the response is going to be more to ignore it and go on with your own business and your mutable imagination creating something wonderful. Because we're manifesting all of this. Uranus, the conscious mind, here with Jupiter. It's a conscious thought. Uranus is here with Jupiter. So these are all conscious thoughts. You have Uranus and Jupiter, Venus and Saturn all on that fixed cross. And you have the moon opposing the moon that rules Cancer, opposing it. The moon is showing Mars, hey, you're in my house, you're in Mama's house over here, but I'm telling you, I'm whispering, because I'm only 4.2%, so I'm whispering to you, you need order. You need to be patient, be calm, be patient, and ordered. Don't become chaos. Stay in line. Don't break rank. And look at the sun, right in that third eye. And that's on the shamanic end of philosophy and ideology. And to me, the shamanic, out of the three philosophical ideology mindsets, between the Freud, the Jung, and the shaman, one has to do more with consciousness and natural, a natural way, not a scientific way, as Freud and Jung would do. But this is more by natural means, third eye. In the twinkling of an eye, we all change. And it's the twinkling of that third eye. And Mercury also on that fixed cross. Got a lot of fixed energy. We'll take a look at that. And we have Pluto over here with the moon. Pluto is with the moon. So you got the subconscious with the moon, and they're just whispering. Just be calm. Shh, don't say anything. Be quiet. Just watch. And that's what we should be doing. Let's put these on Chakra Man. Alright, we'll start at the top. In Aquarius, we have Saturn and Venus. In Capricorn, we have the Moon and Pluto. Oops, let me put this out of my way. Moon and Pluto. We don't have anything in Virgo or Gemini. And nothing in Libra. But in Taurus, we have Jupiter, who's retrograde, and Uranus. In Cancer, we have Mars, retrograde. In Sagittarius, we have Mercury. No, we have the Sun, not Mercury. We have the Sun. And Scorpio, we have Mercury. And in Virgo, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's all of them. So a lot of feminine energy and a lot of fixed energy. We're going to take a look at that too. So we have the Sun, Saturn, and Venus all in a masculine aspect. Everybody else is in a feminine aspect. A lot of feminine energy. A lot of feminine water. We have Mars in water, Mercury's in water, Neptune, where's Neptune? Neptune is in Pisces, which is here. Neptune in water. So lots of water, lots of feminine water. That should put out some fires. Alright, let's take a look at it on the crosses. I really like this one, but I always have to remind you that these are correct. But this one is upside down. This one should have Aquarius on the top and Leo on the bottom. Otherwise, all these are in the positions that they currently have power of right now. And this one has been switched. Instead of having the Pisces Gemini, the energy we're having right now is Gemini Virgo on the top. They've turned this cross 90 degrees. All right. In Pisces, we have Neptune. In Sagittarius, we have the Sun. Nothing in Leo. In Taurus, we have Jupiter retrograde and Uranus. In Scorpio, we have Mercury. In Aquarius, we have Saturn and Venus. In Capricorn, we have the Moon and Pluto. Nothing in Aries, nothing in Libra, and in the Cancer, we have Mars retrograde. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So again, most of our energy is fixed energy. It's immovable. The only thing that is mutable at this point are our imaginations and our philosophy and ideology. They're up for change. Anything on the mutable cross is always, these are the things that's going to change. Our philosophy and our ideology and our imagination. The way we create. One in water, one in fire. Neptune in water, the Sun in fire. Saturn and Venus in air. We'll look at all that as well. Let's move along and take a look at that. All right. And y'all know that on the Tree of Life, there's one missing. I always put it over here, and that's going to be the Libra. That's Libra. Goes up here. So I'm just going to put it over here. But I'm going to mark them who they are first. This is Virgo. This is Taurus. And this is Capricorn. This is Jupiter in fire, which is Sagittarius. And Jupiter in water, which is Pisces. This is the Sun in Leo. And this is the Moon in Cancer. No, the Moon is up here. This is Scorpio. This is Scorpio. Mars, Scorpio. This is Cancer, the Moon. Well, I've just botched this all up. This is Cancer. This is Aries. This is Gemini. Aquarius. And Libra. So, nothing in Virgo. In Taurus, which is the heart chakra. It's the altar. You have Jupiter and Uranus. In Pisces, you have Neptune. In Sagittarius, you have the Sun. In Scorpio, you have Mercury. In Leo, nothing. In Aries, nothing. In Cancer, you have Mars. In Aquarius, you have Saturn and Venus. In Capricorn, you have the Moon and Pluto. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the middle path. We have 1 on the path of severity, and 1, 2, 3 on the path of mercy. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. So the middle path is the strongest energy right now. It's feminine, but it's in that straight and narrow. We have 1 in severity, 3 in mercy, and 6 on the straight and narrow, which is good. That's really, really good, actually. Love that. Let's keep going. These aren't my normal hands. I've lost mine, so I just snatched these off the internet real quick, and we'll use them. Left hand, feminine. Right hand, masculine. I'm going to... I'm just going to put left and right here. And on the left hand, the feminine, this would be Virgo. This would be Cancer. This would be Capricorn. This would be Pisces. And this would be Scorpio. And the masculine, this would be Aries, Sagittarius, Aquarius, Leo, and Gemini. And over here in the palm of your hand, your heart, is Taurus and Libra. Alright, nothing in Virgo. In Cancer, we have Mars retrograde. In Capricorn, we have the Moon and Pluto. In Pisces, we have Neptune. In Taurus, we have Jupiter and Uranus. In Scorpio, we have Mercury. Wow. In Aries, we have nothing. In Sagittarius, we have the Sun. In Aquarius, we have Saturn and Venus. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's everybody. So that's our energy in our palms, in our hands at this time. Very interesting. A lot of different ways to look at the same thing, and each one gives you a different perspective, a different idea. It doesn't make one right and the other one wrong. This is how I am about flat earth, round earth, or hollow earth. I am yes, yes, and yes. All three. Yes, it's flat. Yes, it's round. And yes, it's hollow. Because it's an eyeball. Flat earthers, they can only see the iris. They're stuck under the dome, and they can under the lens. And we live on flat earth in the lens under the eye. Let me pull up an eyeball. So, we live here. This is the iris. We live right here. This is flat earth under the dome, which is the lens. And the North Pole right here is the pupil. This is the entrance to hollow earth, the inside of the eye. And the South Pole is beyond the white wall ball. It's a white wall that is a ball, and it's off limits. You can't go to the South Pole because it's where the ganglia connect to the cosmic mind. And I'm convinced that the earth is the third eye of this whole cosmic mind, because it's creation. Everything happens in the mind's eye. We're in the mind's eye of the cosmic brain, for lack of a better word. The cosmic mind. That's where we're at, what we're doing. We are within. That's why the only way out is to go within. And that brings us back here, back where we started. And that's the energies that I see playing out. I really don't, like I said, I haven't really looked into what all's going on. I don't know any of the particulars. I don't know the whodunits or none of that. But, and I'm not really interested, because I'm just not going to feed that egregore. I don't care about it. I'm more interested in catching another glimpse of this yellow cardinal. Now myself, I did get 3 Christmas cards this year. Thank you very much. That starts out my collection. I'll add my birthday cards and all that to it as we go through the year. My thank you cards. I collect them and I keep them and I put them up on the wall. That way, they're always there for me. If I ever, I don't know, get out of sorts or get my panties in a wad or whatever, I can always look at them and know that I'm not doing this for nothing, that I am cared about, I am loved, that you people are my family. You're my real family, not the one that we grew up with. You're my soul family. And it means everything to me. I got bubbles for Christmas. Isn't that wonderful? I got the softest, most lightweight, warmest whoopee I've ever had in my life. A little blanket. I'm just thrilled to death with it. It's so soft. And it is so warm to be so light. I wish I had some clothes made out of it. And it's just a really inexpensive little Dollar General throw. Nothing spectacular, but it means everything to me. And so do my bubbles. I can't wait to play with them. And I got a card from England. I got a Christmas card all the way from England. Isn't that special? I appreciate them more than you know. It's the little things. Again, it's the little things. It's the bubbles and just a Christmas card. Just a simple Christmas card. You just have no idea how much that means to me. It's everything to me. All right, people. I think I've about covered the bases on how I see it, where I stand. But each of you have your own crosses, your own pillars, your own paths, your own worlds, and your own lives. And we each, I'm glad we could all be here and share it together. I really am. You're a great group of people, but to me, all of this is about consciousness and that we are becoming. And when you understand that we create this reality through our consciousness and our emotions and our heart, all of our chakras are involved, that we're the ones creating this, our desires, Jupiter. You understand why we're put in this shadow box, this unreal world. Because if we were let loose in reality with the powers that we actually have, that we're not even aware of or know how to use, these manifestation powers of creation, we could destroy everything. We would destroy everything. Not we could, we would. Because we're very unstable. And which is appropriate because we're in a mutable age. A mutable age is unstable. It's a loaded gun with a hair trigger. And it's meant to be that way. How else are we going to learn? Obviously, reading from books didn't teach us shit. We have to experience it and live it. And I already know. I've read more books than anybody I know. I could probably pick... You can take any 50 people out of my life and put them all together, and I've read more books than all of them put together. And I had to go back. And once I realized what was really going on, I had to go back and relearn everything. Because I realized it's all a lie, and it's all speaking symbolically. What we have been taught on the surface level is deception. But there is truth in there, and you'll recognize it, and it'll recognize you. All right, people, I love y'all bunches. You just don't know. I really do. I just adore you all. I can't wait to share my yellow cardinal with you. I'm determined. It's going to happen. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get that picture. I want a video of it. And go commit those random acts of kindness. I cannot emphasize to you, it's the little things that make the biggest changes in this world. It's just the little things, especially when they come from the heart. So go commit your random act of kindness. Be that catalyst that makes this whole world a better place. If not for yourself, then for the children. Because they're going to have to deal with this after we're gone. And we need to leave them in a better position than our parents left us. And it's not our parents' fault, because we've all been lied to. It's nobody's fault. We've all been lied to. And that was on purpose. That was on purpose. Just to show how naive we are. But when you're innocent and somebody lies to you, there's no shame or guilt in that. You've been deceived. We've all been deceived. There's no shame or guilt in it. There's only a lesson to learn. And once we learn that lesson, we need to pass it on. And hopefully save others. But again, experience is the best teacher. No? Alright, people. If my videos have helped you, won't you please help me keep them coming to you? The donations are so far and few in between, and I know everybody is struggling, but $5, a few $5 here and there, I'm grateful. I still have my two little sponsors that, hell or high water, every month they send me something, and I really appreciate that. All right, people. I love you bunches. See you soon.